I guess the next where maybe because you'd mentioned the government intervention here, which is probably where the next discussion of topic comes into play. The security, functionality, and usability and societal impact of RCS versus iMessage versus SMS and texting protocols. And so, it's funny because
I hope you heard the big news.
well, I did. Maybe that's what I'm gonna. Well, two pieces of big news, right? So one is I had already mentioned them previously, but Nothing thought that they were gonna solve all the problems, right? So Nothing phone comes along and they're like, hey, we've partnered with this company that's going to give you iMessage on your Android. And so we kind of all knew how that was going to go because of security and how iMessage works, right? You're not actually using iMessage. You're just logged into Mac Mini that's on a server farm somewhere that anyone could have access to. Now, they tell you that no one will access those computers, but, we've heard that before with, basically the entire crypto industry. Sam and all of the Binance guys and FTX saying, "Well, we're not going to touch your Bitcoin. You can cash out at any time." Okay, cool. Why are you going to jail then? Yeah. So, but that's besides the point. So that whole thing got shut down, right? From my knowledge, they shut that whole thing down about 2 weeks in because of security protocols and measures and shit like that. Because we can't have people logging in to their Apple IDs on Mac server farms because it just doesn't make sense, right? And so then, I guess in the mix of that whole news comes Apple announcing that they are going to start accepting and implementing RCS protocols across iOS starting next year.
Yes. Finally getting with the program.
No, they're not. I mean, here's the issue. The only thing that this solves, the only problem that this is going to make go away is when you take a video on your silly phone and try to text it to me. That's the only problem because right now, SMS protocols require any video that gets sent over whatever that server is has to be like this big. And so when you film on your HD thing, on your HD megapixel 48 super telescopic scope that Samsung puts on all their phones or whatever you have, it has to make it this big. And once it arrives on the iPhone via the text message, it's super small and crispy and no one can see it or read it or look at it. And it's just a blur, right? So that's the only issue that this solves. We're still getting green. We're still getting green bubbles. We'll get red receipts, but we have that now. Essentially. So it's just the only thing. It's not going to. Apple will still have full control and market share over iMessage.
Well, and that's the thing. RCS was never there to say, "Oh, we are the new iMessage."
Right.
RCS as a standard and called Universal Profile as a standard is there to replace SMS and MMS. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of RCS.
Yeah.
Now we get the extra capabilities of read receipts, high definition videos, audio, group messaging, all those extra little features that were so baked in the iMessage. It's like, oh, no one else can do this. You are able to take advantage of those things because it's a newer protocol, a newer standard. But RCS, all it was meant to do was to get rid of that original backbone that we had of SMS and MMS, because the technology that we're using now, it's beyond that protocol.
Yeah.
We can't use it anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That's all it was there to do.
I guess. And so I guess my argument for it is that, like there's no why there's just why is RCS even a standard? Like why hasn't the standard been, and I know I'm kind of going away from the argument now, I'm just kind of asking questions, but why don't you think we've gone towards a data set standard instead? Like why hasn't someone or a corporation, maybe Apple, like why don't they make iMessage the same thing as whatever Facebook's thing is, like WeChat or
like WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. That's what I'm trying to say. WhatsApp. Like, why haven't we fully just like, why isn't that it? Because it would seem to me like, basically iMessage is just Apple's version of WhatsApp, right? It's just media file sharing. It's the stickers. It's the bubbles.
And you also have
it's the
to
colors.
keep in mind, iMessage is solely a US thing, because if going with what you're saying, WhatsApp was the de facto standard across the world.
Well,
iMessage it was mainly a US thing for a while.
Where was that? Is that? I think you might.
If you went anywhere else, if you said, "Oh, do you have iMessage?" they would look at you like the same way how the whole text message iMessage thing, how we look at each other. That's how people would look at you like, "What are you talking about?" We use WhatsApp.
India, and the Dominican, they all use WhatsApp, right?
Yep.
Right.
So it's
now was that also due to because the iPhone only became affordable halfway through its lifespan. So was that due to the lack of affordability in those countries? Like, were they because I don't think they were using WhatsApp on an iPhone and like looking at you like, oh, I don't have iMessage. I think they were using WhatsApp on an Android device, like, hey, hit me on WhatsApp. And people who had iPhones were like, hey, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, just get WhatsApp. So that's why we have WhatsApp on our iPhone, so we can communicate with the Android people, right? It's so it. Go ahead.
And see, that's another one of those tough topics, because are you asking, are we trying to pick a de facto platform for messaging,
right,
or are we trying to pick a de facto standard for messaging? Because because RCS is to replace the original standards, SMS, MMS. That's across the board, globally. It doesn't matter where you are around the world. You send an SMS, you're going to receive an SMS. You send an MMS, you're going to receive an MMS. RCS is supposed to be that standard. It's like you send an RCS message, you get that back. Regardless of where you are, what platform you're on. You know, as far as Android phones are concerned, it doesn't matter if you have a Samsung, an HTC, a OnePlus, or whatever. RCS is the standard that you're getting across those devices.
But when you send an RCS to my iPhone, it's Apple converting. It's Apple converting into the language that it understands. I see. I get it.
So remember, and here's a fun point. Remember the whole, I like this. Remember when Apple released that? And then Android was like, hey man, why am I getting like 20 texts from you saying that you like my message? Like, what's up with that? And then Google on the back end fixed
the reactions. Yep. Right.
Yep. Google on the back end fixed it. And they kind of did a little, oh, you're going to do that to us? Well, guess what? Now, if we do it to you, you get all those text messages because Apple's not going to fix it.
Right. The whole reactions thing. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Listen, that you might win. You might win on that one. I guess it just. I think here's the issue. I think it is. It's just gotten too out of control. Like it's now to the point we've got people making videos. It's a societal shift. Like people will claim if you have an iPhone and you get a green bubble, that person who's texting you is obviously like seconds away from homeless, maybe even dead. Like that's what it seems like. Like I've gotten threats. James, I've been with the same person since the day, I think the day I met you, essentially. I've been with Megs for like 18 years now. It's kind of insane.
Oh.
Like but literally if every time those crispy 8K MKBHD videos go up and he's like, "Hey guys, it's me, Marquez. And I've been using the Samsung Galaxy OnePlus Nothing Phone 3 Plus Pro Max now for the last 3 weeks. I'm going to tell you all about it. And it's beautiful, and the OS looks great, and Marquez says it's great, and it's been his daily driver for the last 6 weeks. I need it. If he can run an empire and businesses successfully, then me as a business owner, podcaster, entrepreneur, whatever I'm doing, it shouldn't be from this iPhone 12 Pro Max that's 8 years old. I should have the brand new Samsung Galaxy. But if I do that, it comes at the cost of my fiance leaving. She'll take my son away. I'll probably lose custody. The house is gone. I now have to go rent somewhere in the city for real cheap in some shitty apartment because that's all I can afford. Like I'll lose I'll probably have to file for bankruptcy. My businesses, I'll probably lose those partners. Like the bank will call in all the debt loans. Like I'll probably literally the day I purchase an Android phone again, I might lose it all. But you know what? If that's worth knowing I can send you an RCS protocol image directly to your phone, I might.
Hey, well, think of it this way. You got 1 month. You got to deal with it for 1 more month, and then it's over. But that was always my argument. Whenever I talk to people like, oh, yeah, get an iPhone. I'm like, why?
But
like for 99% of people.
But I guess it just doesn't. But that just doesn't change anything, though. 1 month and it's over. What's going to change?
You'll be able to just text normally. That's my whole thing. That's why
I can do that now.
Subscribe. But here's the thing.
I was just texting you a minute ago. I just sent you a text normally.
Yeah,
what am I going to do? But what am I going to do any different? Like what?
If we do anything else other than the basic standard that's been in place for I don't know how many years, a basic text message, as long as we're doing that, then none of this matters. But once you start utilizing the technologies that we're putting in place, the things that you want to hopefully use out of that $1,000, $2,000 phone, once you're not able to do that, that's when I say there's a problem. Okay. When there's a standard out there that will make that fully capable, but you're purposely not able to do it, to me, it's like, what use is that phone to you? What use is that brand new technology to you? What use is that? Oh yeah, I can record 4K, 8K, 12K. I can do all that on my phone. All right, send it to me. Well, yeah, I can't send it to you. Then what's the point?
So once RCS goes live on iOS next year, Apple will then have that standard adapted. They will then have USB-C. And so then what? So then
exactly.
I think
you're getting there.
Checkmate. I think I just won.
No.
I think you need to go buy an iPhone in 30 days.
No, actually, other way around. Then what's the point?
Well, there's one thing missing from your Android phone because now there's one thing missing from every Android phone, and it's iMessage.
But what's the point?
What's the point? 99% of the planet uses it.
That's not true.
That's the point.
Now look.
Well, it might not be 99. It might not be 99%, but pretty fucking close.
So let me ask this, and again, I don't know how Apple is going to implement it.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
But if the thing is, the only thing you don't have is iMessage, but RCS covers it because it's just a part of the standard. What about iMessage? Am I missing?
Well, I didn't. That becomes no. Listen, no. It's not fine. That becomes opinionated. You're not missing anything. I mean, we could FaceTime. Android has FaceTime right now, so it's not like there's so. I think if I'm hearing this correctly, and I might be wrong here because I'm wrong all the time, but based on your initial arguments, the iPhone was missing USB-C and RCS protocols. It has
Mhm.
everything else Android has as far as hardware, software, security. You can't
Mhm.
doubt the camera lenses. You can't doubt the software. Like it's
Yep.
just there's
Yep.
not so now come 2024, all of those gaps are filled. And so now
Okay.
you're telling me that there is nothing that the iPhone is missing that you would require as an Android user. RCS, USB-C, good cameras, and so what
Now,
Android users want, right? So
now I
now
will
the
say
only
it does.
thing missing from the
Mhm.
ecosystem is
Mhm.
iMessage on Android. So now I get
Well,
it.
okay, now
I get it that that's Apple. Now that's Apple's fault. That's Apple's fault directly. And Lord knows they're never going to do it. But if Apple can adopt every other feature, what left does Apple have left to rip from Android? Now they have the upper hand because they have iMessage. What does Android have left as far as features, hardware? Please tell me. Like that's you know what I mean?
you know what? And it's so simple. It's such a basic thing, and it's still not there, and that's why I hate whenever I did have to use my iPhone for certain things. That very, very, very small amount of customization. That very, 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 very small. Now I know you're. I see the face. I see the face. Now hear me out. Hear me out.
What?
Okay.
What customization? What do you want to be able to do? Because we got widgets now. We can I can customize this shit
Oh,
till the
but
cows
that's
come
it.
home.
That's all. It all. It's
I
just
got
widgets.
widgets. I can put custom icons on it. I can set a background. I can set a home screen with widgets. I can set a different home screen wallpaper than on the other ones. What? Are we talking about launchers? Are you talking about third-party launchers for Android? Are you talking about skins? Like what? You
If
can
you
do
want to
that.
be able to truly utilize your device,
Yeah.
it's basically a mini computer.
Uh-huh.
It's a computer at this
Uh-huh.
point.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
telling me
Yes. Continue, God.
you would rather not be able to fully utilize that computer in any way you would want possible, or be locked down to a very specific way of using that computer?
What and in what way? And now me, yes. The answer is yes. With this phone, you win. You win. You win all arguments with this exact phone in my hands. But
Hmm.
if this was the iPhone 15 Pro Max, like I'll probably have in the next few months, the argument is now
Okay.
gone because of USB C. Because you can hook this up to an external monitor with a Bluetooth keyboard and trackpad,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
you can get a IDX app to write code and build websites for my one business. There's DJ apps. I've got Apple Music. I can do a wedding off my iPhone now. It has a
Okay.
ProRes 4K camera that I can record a movie on.
Okay. Okay.
Um, let's see what else. A video editor right inside of it. What it's got a file explorer. All I have to do is plug it in and drag my files over. What part of that whole this is a computer is not the iPhone 15?
So,
What
well
does
then,
Apple limit to you
well
to
then at
then?
that point,
Wh-
is it more of a I'm getting the most bang for my buck, or is it just more of a status symbol?
But
Because I
buddy,
always look at Apple devices more of a status symbol,
but
more so than I'm getting the best bang for my buck.
I understand that, but bro, the price points are the same. The Pro model Samsung phones and the Pro
Hmm.
model Google phones are $9.99. And if you want the storage upgrade, if you want more storage, it's $12.99. It's $11.99, $12.99. They're all the same.
Hmm.
The iPhone 12 Pro Max starts at $9.99. And you can hook up an SSD directly to it for unlimited storage. I've got 6 of them right here. I'll have a 12 terabyte iPhone for
Well,
$9.99.
hey, I still got my SD card. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, we had to bring that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I still got that capability.
Now, here's the thing.
Mhm.
Yes, I will admit an SD card. It's nice. It's okay. It's a nice touch, but
Mhm.
tell me, how long do you think it's going to take for someone to fill this port with a micro SSD that triples the amount of storage in my iPhone 15 that I don't even see on a daily basis, and it's just like flush with the phone and it adds no extra weight because storage, that micro SD, literally, this port would fit a micro SD card. So you can't tell me that someone's not out there developing a USB-C little thing for an iPhone. You know what I mean? No, I get it. That's a third party and it's a cop out. That one is definitely a cop out. I think out of one category today, my friend, you might have won. But when it comes to everything else, I think.
Well, I mean, that's why I said I'm glad that Apple's finally on board.
Right.
You know, would it make me think twice about an iPhone nowadays?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not.
Right.
Especially for my use.
And so what do you
send text messages, phone calls, pictures. Right. They all do it.
Yeah.
So would I be more? Would I think about it a little bit more when I'm thinking about it? Maybe, but because and just like with the Windows Mac argument, you get what you're used to.
And here's the other situation. I'm pretty sure Android within that RCS text messaging apps or whatever, you guys don't have a default video chat thing. You've got what?
It's just Google Duo.
Google Duo. Right.
Yeah, that's
Google Duo. Default. Right, exactly. Yeah. Google Duo. Right. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's a third-party app, fam. That doesn't come on every. That doesn't. If I go buy the Nothing 2 phone or the OnePlus 10 or the OnePlus Fold, is Google Duo going to be on there?
If they're following the standard, then yes, it should have all default Google apps.
Okay.
And as far as I can tell, video calls is interchangeable between devices at this point. Because my mom still had an LG and I bought a Samsung for other reasons, but the video calls would still work.
Okay.
Because that was a carrier backend thing, more so than a phone thing.
Okay. I'm gonna look into that Google Duo, but I still feel like even still, Google Duo isn't as seamless as FaceTime. Like you still have to like. I don't know.
But then again, are we getting a standard across the board that you can get on any device, including your iPhone, or something that you are only locked into one device? So no matter where you are, who you are, what you have, you can use Google Duo. I can only use FaceTime if I have an iPhone, and it's a specific iPhone that has a specific iOS version.
Well, that argument. Well, the specific iPhone with iOS version is, I mean, you can, I think the latest is supported.
It's the same thing with anything.
But it's I think that argument, the fact that I can get Google Duo on my iPhone and video chat with you the same way, is the same argument as, well, why don't we all just use WhatsApp? So it's, I think, listen, bro, I think, to wrap up this part of the discussion, I think we can basically agree that two things. One, I won. And two, that this argument is kind of this case is coming to a close. Is that what because like we said, if Apple's adopting,
it's finally getting there now that Apple basically had to get the knife twisted a little bit, finally we're there. Something that everybody has just been saying, what are you guys doing? We're finally there.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I mean, it's fine.